Alan, how's it
Hey,
going?
good. How you doing?
Good. So you were just out on lunch, and I almost never ask this, but I feel like I've been given permission now. Food does take a very big role in Reacher. What is
As it
the
does in my
best,
own life.
yeah, as I
Yes.
imagine, yeah,
Yeah.
what's the best thing you've ever eaten in your life?
Oh, that's a good question. I had a bowl of chicken truffle cream soup in Paris, and it gave me goosebumps as I ate it. So there was a physiological response to that food, and I will never forget it.
Wow, that sounds
Yeah. What
great.
What about you? What's your favorite food?
Um, oh, that's hard when
That's a
I'm
tough
put on the
question.
spot
Yeah, it's a
about
hard
it.
question.
I'm just thinking about Paris because I was noticing how you were at the opening of the Prime Video Club at the opening in Paris. You were actually at the Wheel of Time premiere in London. That was a show that I really, really enjoyed as well.
Oh, good.
So so in a way of kind of ducking around your question, it's so fascinating to me because this show seems like, Paramount, Prime Video, Skydance really are behind it, as they, Prime Video is behind Wheel of Time, making a show that feels big, theatrical, fun, really amazing to experience. What's that like for you?
On, there's it's hard to describe being a part of something that has the kind of support that it has. The amount of time and energy and talent, resources that Amazon, Skydance, Paramount, the partners that you mentioned have poured into this. It's just indescribable. I don't, I mean, they don't just understand the books and what this means to fans. They are doing what it takes to get this in their hands, and that's those decisions are hard to make, and the kind of support that we're getting is rare these days. So it's been amazing to be a part of this, and I've benefited from that. I've gotten to travel and meet a lot of amazing people and have a lot of great conversations about this, and I hope it leads to many more. I'm as much a Reacher fan as anybody, so I want to see all these books come to life, and it seems like with the kind of love it's getting from from our producers and executives and studios, it's got a good shot at that.
And I'm so impressed with you that, you didn't just read the one book, you read all 24 books in the series, and you're very committed, it seems. You're very passionate about what you're doing. You put your all into it, maybe similar to Reacher. So, what do you enjoy about that aspect that, here it is, this show, and you're front and center?
Oh, thank you. Well, I mean, I feel the burden of responsibility, in being Reacher. A lot of this rests on my shoulders, and how can I go into this without knowing more about Reacher than anybody? I mean, I want to make sure that I've absorbed all the material, and information is empowering.
Mm-hmm.
And if there's information out there that I have access to that I'm too lazy or, too inconsiderate to absorb, I mean, that's wholly on me. So I enjoy learning as much as I can about characters when I have the opportunity to, and the more information I have to pull from, the better. The better it'll make me, the better for the project. So I really enjoyed reading the books. I mean, didn't feel like work at all. I couldn't put them down. So, I just, I feel lucky to be a part of a project that has this much IP attached to it. Lee Child has done a lot of the work for me.
Mm. And I was going to say, maybe feels right, roll right. You've got the military background in your family
That's right.
too.
Yeah.
You're going to do a screening for the USO, which I think is so incredible. I wanted to shout out that, but also the work that your co-star, Maria Sten, is doing incredible work on the show. How does it feel in that? Like, you must feel incredibly proud of this show.
Oh yeah. I mean, you mentioned the military. I mean, to play a vet, it's touching on a big part of my life. I grew up in the military, like you said. Both my parents are veterans. I have a deep respect and reverence for all the sacrifices that service members make. It's the 1% serving the 99%. That's a very it's a dynamic that civilians hardly understand. So I care deeply about what they do for us. To be able to portray one is just it's an honor. You also mentioned Maria. She's just a powerhouse and the perfect contrast for somebody like Reacher, who's rather dry and stoic. And I think the Neely that we meet on screen is just she's fun and incredibly witty and smart. She's the perfect counterpart for who Reacher is. And I hope that her being a fan favorite in the books, that we find a way to weave her into every season.
What I think works so well on the show is you hit all the beats. When I'm watching through it, boom, boom, boom. And your soundtrack as well, the music informs that with the blues soundtrack. So what has been a piece of music for you that has meant something, or a song or something that really drives you?
I still remember listening to Rocky Raccoon for the first time. And it was one of those songs that it's such a great story. It's the kind of writing that we don't really have a lot of mainstream writers like that anymore. And I got lost in it, and it kind of sparked this idea that I want to find more songs like that are out there, more moments or experiences that are awaiting us that, maybe we didn't know were there, but if we keep mining for those kind of memories in life, that, they'll find us. So it was an inspiring moment listening to that song, realizing like, I can't believe this is something I never knew about. So I appreciate that the show gave me that. That song has a special place in my heart, and it's one that's mentioned early on in the season. So it's anybody who hasn't heard that song, I hope they get to enjoy that.
That was a great track. Yeah. So I've heard about you in the past, talk about some of the roles that have mattered to you and maybe some of the experiences that haven't been as ideal. But it seems to me that you have that figure, that you are a set leader, that you are someone, you've got kids, and you are really inspiring. It's not just the character, that you are somebody that really wants to, set the tone on set. So how did you find that to be the case for Reacher?
Well, I mean, I think, I'm a product of the genetics that I've inherited, but, it's a little nature and nurture. My dad was on the leadership side of things in the military. He ran what's known as the King Hangar on Eglin Air Force Base, the largest hangar in the world, where they do research on high-tech aircraft and munitions. And, he was in charge of a lot of brilliant service members. And, you see that just in his posture, the way he carries himself, and the way that he was really a servant leader. And that's one of the rare types of leadership, one we don't see very often. And I learned a lot from watching that. And I've always wanted to emulate that, because I just have a profound respect for him. And I think Reacher is the same way. I mean, if you read through the books, you see, especially I think it's in Bad Luck and Trouble, he reunites with his former special investigators, and you see the respect that they have for him. They refuse to allow him to sort of abandon his position as the former captain of that team. They as reluctant as he can be, he's the leader. He's the natural born leader, and everybody knows it. And whether he wants that mantle or not, he will, he continues to serve naturally in that capacity. So it is Reacher. I think to some people, those qualities are just sort of inherent. And I feel lucky to have had that modeled for me in my life, so that I kind of know what that looks like.
Your co-star Malcolm said steak, so I'm going to go with steak. I'm actually going to answer the question that you asked me at the beginning. I didn't like to duck it for that, but so I'm going to go with the steak. I think it's so incredible the way that this show, that it feels like what it should be, and I think you're doing incredible work. You must be so excited for everyone.
I've never wanted so badly for a project that I've been a part of to be in the hands of the audience. It's, I think been waiting long enough as well. I'm so proud of it. I mean, the fact that I've seen it now, and as a fan myself, I feel like it's hitting on all the right notes. So I can't wait for people to enjoy it.
Great note on which to end. Thank you so much, Alan. It's been such a pleasure speaking with you.
Thank you. Nice talking to you too.